Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, beautiful soul family, and welcome to Weekly Wisdom and Insights, your home for spiritually guided transformation and empowerment. I'm your host, Dearjames, and together with the unseen, Spirit, Source, and Symphony, we look at the current energies, receive the intuitive guidance, and we go as guided. And we are in the month of July, and it is an action-packed, energetically speaking, cosmically speaking, it's on fire. So we're going to jump in right away. And as you join, put a shout out in the comments. Let us know you're there. And remember that we incorporate your comments throughout the broadcast. So anyways, let's get to it. There is a lot here. It was very interesting. Last week after the show, I had a discussion with a colleague, and then it was a dear friend. And then I just kind of sat back and I said, okay, next week, what's the theme? What's happening? And there's a lot of chaos. The discussion was surrounding the United States, the election, Supreme Court decision. There's just, when we look out throughout the world, there's a lot going on, and it's very chaotic. And so instantly what came to me, so I'm in my mind's eye, and I'm asking, what's the theme for the new month, for the new energies, for the month of July, for this moment in time? And I heard, come on, get happy. And the lyrics are to a song that was sung by Judy Garland and Barbara Streisand. And it says, forget your troubles, come on, get happy. You better chase all your cares away. Shout hallelujah, come on, get happy. Get ready for the judgment day. The sun is shining. Come on, get happy. The Lord is waiting to take your hand. Shout hallelujah and just get happy. We are going to the promised land. Now, I don't know about all of you. And last but not least, there's a bridge where they sing this together. And they say, we're heading across the river. Soon your cares will all be gone. There'll be no more from now on. And so, welcome Ava, welcome Alicia. So it was really powerful. I don't know about all of you, but to recognize that there's this ending and a beginning. Piscean, Aquarian, patriarchal, matriarchal. And we've been on this journey since November 17th of 2021 on Weekly Wisdom and Insights. And that has been this message of deliverance, this message of an old order and a new order, and a new way, and what's expected of us and what's on offer for us. And so and I'm just going to bring up the main image. It harks back. There's an image of this couple dancing. And the image in my mind's eye was of something, like a World War II era, kind of a European World War, and yet the end, at the end of that, the celebration. And so this beautiful image of a couple, kind of nostalgic looking and everything in their dress and attire, and this "forget your troubles, come on, get happy" from this song. And so as they bring this as the main theme, we have 4 songs in this week's show, that lyrics to shows and references. And the next one it's from Tina Turner and Ike Turner, and it was "Proud Mary," because what I heard was nice and easy. So we have this theme about, come on, get happy, because we're crossing the river, Judgment Day, Promised Land, and everything. And then the first thing with the unseen was nice and easy. And I heard the Tina Turner's voice in my head. And she says, every now and then, I think you might like to hear something from us, nice and easy. So this is the unseen, spirit, source, symphony, the universe speaking to us. So every now and then, I think you might like to hear something from us, nice and easy. But there's just one thing. You see, we never ever do anything nice and easy. We always do it nice and rough. So we're going to take the beginning of this song, so these energies, this moment. So we're going to take the beginning of this song, this moment, and do it easy. But then we're going to do the finish rough. This is the way we do Proud Mary. And we're rolling, rolling, rolling on the river. And then they say, listen to the story. So there's a massive message here. These July energies, the completion of this year. I remember it's a Ben and Bennu. It's a capstone moment year. And we'll see that on our astrological chart. I'm just bringing that up. So the unseen is saying to all of us, forget your troubles, come on, get happy. And that we're going to do this transition of power, this transition, this moment. We're going to do it, quote, nice and easy, but we're going to finish nice and rough. So, and then what's amazing about this is Creedence Clearwater, and I've got up on the screen the the Cancer new moon that's coming up on Friday. Just showing you that because of the Bennu, Ben, and the capstone, and I'll come back to it in a moment. But the point here is Creedence Clearwater Revival was the group that originally recorded Proud Mary. And when you look up what the meaning of the etymology of their name, so credence means belief, faith, confide in, trust, believe. Clearwater lives by source of pure water. So pure water, a source of pure water. And revival, to live again, bring back to use or notice, or bring back to notice. And so the unseen is saying here with this song, this reference to this nice and easy Proud Mary, is that there's a place where it's having trust and faith in faith. It's having this, that we're here. It's to believe, have faith, confide in, trust this pure source, the source of pure life, of pure water, because there's a revival. It's to live again. And it's as if we've been asleep for so long. We've been asleep at the wheel, meaning separated from soul source connection, from source, from this pure water. And they're saying revival, to live again. We're going to bring back to use and notice this higher octave, going back to where we began, an octave higher. So you can see how there's a lot of culmination here about what they've been giving us. They, the unseen, have been guiding us with for all of this time, for almost 3 years now. And so, and number 2 from the unseen was acknowledge the chaos, then move through it, move beyond it. And the third thing, so 1, 2, and 3, they all go together in the main theme. Number 3 was remain in the eye of the hurricane, the storm. This is where we'll find peace. So in all of this chaos that's occurring, and it's going to get louder. Remember, it's going to finish nice and rough. So we're in this moment where it's nice and easy. It's going to finish nice and rough. We're talking about towards, from the U.S. perspective, the election and what happens after the election and all of these things and how that ripples these world events. And it's not just about the United States. It's just a massive reference point. You can see what's going on in Europe and in France and with Russia and Ukraine. There's so much chaos, confusion, this clinging to an old way, an old power, and how that is very disconcerting. Because again, remember, the arc of destiny moves forward. And I'm going to go right to number 4 from the unseen. It's another song from Cher. And they said, number 4, it's foundational. So this is the unseen speaking to us. And they said, if I could turn back time, I wouldn't. We wouldn't. So if I could turn back time, I wouldn't. We wouldn't. So the arc of destiny moves forward. And then they were talking about, so if I could turn back time, if I could cling to something, and there's a sense of pride and arrogance and entitlement associated with that. Because in essence, what we're saying is it's foundational. It's number 4. Well, we know better. Or what I want is better than what I'm unaware of, what's to come. And so no matter whether we're looking at this in a macro way, greater, larger, epic and picture, whole of humanity, or whether we're looking at it in the micro, is there something within our lives, a person, a place, a thing, a relationship, a way of being, that we're in a place of pride and arrogance and entitlement, hubris, ignorance, because we're saying, oh, I know better, as opposed to being guided by your soul that says, no, we know best. We know better. We can see all. You see little. So this opportunity for us, and again, if I could turn back time, this is the unseen speaking, if I could turn back time, I wouldn't. We wouldn't. Because they know what's on the other side. They know what's on offer. They know where we're going. And so we're in this moment of chaos and struggle and confusion, and they're saying to us, remain in the eye of the hurricane, the storm. Hurricane Beryl is occurring right now. And they're saying, because in the center, in the eye, it's peaceful, it's calm. And yet, acknowledge the chaos. Don't bury your head. It's not an ostrich. Don't bury your head in the sand. Just be mindful about moving through it, moving beyond it, and aligning your energies with where you're going, what you want, not placing your energies against something. Allow it to be placed for something. You shift the energies, they become positive, and those positive energies. And that can be, in terms of what you're for, donating time, money, resources, voting for what you want, taking positive steps in positive actions and ways that will deliver you, into the new. So we're also working with, and this, let's start with our main energies here. And because we're again working with the beautiful energies of hexagram 18. So it's 7. So we've got a couple of things. 7, remember 7, the foundation of God's word. So And it's also armies and legions in the I Ching. Hexagram 7 is army and legions, which means we have everything we need. It's all within us. And to utilize correct discipline. Welcome, Olivia. And then today is the 3rd of July, so we have these difficult beginnings. Persevere. So this has been a theme. We're at the transfer. We're at the beginning, so it's going to be challenging. Persevere. It's an 8-year, all year long. When you look at what's going on the world stage, we see a lot of nationalism, nativeness, which denotes hierarchy, separation. And yet, this time and the matriarchal Aquarian era, we the people era, it's all about unity, uniting, coming together, bringing from the inside out, each individual from the inside out, unifying their aspects, ego, mind, personality, heart, soul source connection, unifying them. It is not about denigrating and dividing amongst classes and neighbors and ethnicities and masculine and feminine and so forth. It's about uniting them, bridging the gap. And so here 18, the 7, the 3, and the 8 become an 18. And that 18 is about decay, repairing, remedy, repair what's spoiled. So we're going to dive into that pretty deeply because it's so powerful on what's on offer. Again, we are, and look at how, and last but not least, it becomes a 9, which is small restraint, surrender, meaning surrender to the advance, surrender to your soul, surrender to the positivity of what's on offer. Stop fighting to hang on to something that is leaving. It doesn't get any more simple than that. And so in this moment, we have hexagram 18, this repairing, this decay, repairing what's spoiled. We have this awareness of forget your troubles, come on, get happy, this judgment day, promised land, crossing the river. We're taking it nice and easy, and to acknowledge the chaos, but move through it, move beyond it, remain in the eye of the hurricane, the storm. That's where the peace is. And the unseen is saying, and if I could turn back time, I wouldn't. We wouldn't. So let's look at the astrological influences. So we had on the 2nd of July, yesterday, Mercury enters Leo. So how we think, how we communicate, entering this very formidable fire sign. It's actionary. It wants to take action. And you're going to see with this Cancer new moon coming up, I'm going to show you the chart in a second. So Mercury enters Leo. On the same day yesterday, Neptune stations retrograde at that anaretic degree, 29 degrees of Pisces. And 29 degrees, it's right on the edge between the end of the Pisces to Aries is the end of the astrological cycle. So here's Neptune stationing retrograde. And right at this time, remember, Pluto's retrograde, Saturn's retrograde, Neptune's retrograde, and Uranus and Jupiter will retrograde as well coming up. So the big outer planets, which denote major change, they move slowly, but they're all going to retrograde here. And so again, they're finishing up. They're tying up the loose ends. They're finishing up the old. On tomorrow, July 4th, in the United States, it's Independence Day. And that's our theme for the astrological influences. What appears to be chaos and mayhem and being, dialed back to the 1950s, if you will, and it's an illusion. Neptune stationing retrograde. Neptune represents, one aspect of it is illusion. It's at the 29th degree, this anaretic degree. And then on the 5th, coming up on Friday, is the Cancer new moon at 14 degrees Cancer. So the theme of the astrological influences is independence, like Independence Day. Well, let's look at the astrological chart, this Cancer new moon. And what you may notice, you'll see, I mean, look at all of it, and most astrologers, they're all speaking about how glorious and harmonious and just beneficial this Cancer new moon on Friday is. And when you look in the inner circle, you see all of these beautiful blue lines. And it's like a trifecta of 3 triangles overlapping each other. And the apex, the point of the triangle, is pointing to Mars and Uranus. Mars is at 18 degrees Taurus, and Uranus is at 25 degrees Taurus. So this, and what I heard was a trifecta of blessings and advance. So this Cancer new moon is setting off this trifecta of blessings and advance, because these 3 overlapping triangles, blue triangles, are pointing to the Mars-Uranus conjunction that is occurring on the 15th. It's coming up smack in the middle of July. And the challenge, that there's only one red line, and it's between Mercury, that's just entered Leo. So remember how we think, communicate, talk. It's in fire Leo. It's in fixed fire Leo, and it's very it's very entrepreneurial and very take action and so forth. And it is opposite retrograde Pluto. So remember, Pluto's going back into Capricorn one last time. It's been there for 20 years. It's going back one last time. And I keep using the analogy of the Harry Potter, and Alicia might know this and put it in the comments. It's the plant that at Hogwarts in the Harry Potter movies and series, where they pull up the plant and it screeches, so they got to have earmuffs on and everything. But what are they doing? They're pulling it up and they're transplanting it to a bigger vessel, a bigger pot. Well, Pluto is going back to shake the primordial tree, to shake the roots and the foundations. Yes, the mandrakes. Thank you, Alicia. And Pluto is going back, shaking our core, our foundations, not to harm us, but to move us forward, to advance us, and to transplant us into a greater vessel, the Aquarian age, this we the people. And what intuitively this was saying to me, this Mercury opposite Pluto, was Mercury's out there in the forefront, and it's how we think, it's how we communicate, it's how words and what we record. Cellular, it has electronics, it governs electronics and motors, engines, things of this nature, appliances, that's, contracts. And it's as if here's Mercury and Leo screaming at us all. Come on, come on, come on. This way, let's go, let's go, let's go. And there's Pluto saying, yes, yes, son, yes, wise one, yes, hang on. We got to go back and finish business. We got to go back and kind of clean up our mess, if you will. So it doesn't mean that it will be, everything will be perfected, so to speak, or when it's nice and easy, we're going to slow, nice and easy, then nice and rough. There's going to be some reverberations. There's going to be some, however, the main core and energy of the theme will be that we have advanced. We have moved forward. We have, humanity as above, so below, have done what was necessary to advance us forward. So do your best to not buy into all of the chaos, all of the confusion, all of the hate, all of the division. Do your best to acknowledge the chaos, and then say, okay, I'm going to release it, and I'm going to stay centered, soul source connection. I'm going to stay centered, and I'm going to remain in that eye of the hurricane, and I'm going to apply my energies, my actions, my words, my intentions in a positive manner. What will move me forward? What will move my citizenry, my workplace, my country, my relationships forward? And yes, I can hear people saying, well, that means different things to different people. Yes. However, what you will find is there will be those that are focusing on the positive aspect of advance, the purity of something, the purity of the intention, the purity of what that looks like. And then you will witness those that are focused in the shadow aspect of it, the anger, the division, the hate, the shadow. You do not want to be focused on the shadow. Acknowledge it and then pivot. Release it and focus your energies on what is advancing, what is positive momentum, forward movement that brings in and secures the new. And the new, this Aquarian age, matriarchal harmony, and matriarchal equality, harmony, equanimity, goodness. It is not one over the other. It is everyone has a seat at the table. There is value in each of us. And by coming together, unity, coming together, what extraordinary opportunities and world. And break it down into my relationships, my businesses, where I show up at work, governments, institutions. What's on offer? What's the world we live in when that is where the energy is placed? It's night and day. It's night and day, but this old patriarchal shadow stuff of, kill and be killed and, and oppress and suppress and control and manipulate, and you can go on and on and on. The moral of the story is, from the unseen and everything, is been there, done that. It was purposeful. We're dealing with it. Pluto, we're dealing with it. We're revisiting it. We're bringing it up to the light, not to repeat it and go live in it again, but to purify it, cleanse it, release it, become more, become better. Our key word, relativity. And it's a very interesting key word. So, relativity is the word for how things only have importance in relation to other things. So right off the get-go, see, we can buy into the illusion because relativity, things only have importance in relation to other things. So if we're buying into the illusion, we're in relativity because it's in contrast to something. In physics, relativity refers to Einstein's theory that time and space are not absolute. If you believe there are absolute correct answers to everything, you probably don't like relativity, which is the opposite of absolutism. According to relativity, things aren't good or bad in themselves. They only have significance in relation to other things. In physics, relativity is about how even time and space aren't absolute, objective facts. For example, time partially depends on our perceptions of it. Time is relative. So this moment in time, the world events that are occurring, all of this, or if we think that we know, then you're in absolutism, not relativity. And what that says is you're just fixed. You're immobile. You will not move or budge because you're right. Well, nothing in the universe is static like that. It's ever changing. Every experience we have, we can think we know everything we can know from a relationship or an experience or a subject. And then, poof, from the unseen, events transpire that continue to unfold and flower, which allows us to continually change and evolve, greater, deeper, higher, faster, more evolution, ascendance. We only devolve when we're absolute, stuck, rooted, arrogant, pride, arrogance, entitlement, hubris. So this relativity, and to remember with time, this is all from vocabulary.com. It's to remember time is relative. So this moment in time is relative. It's not permanent. It doesn't stay or last forever. And this is the irony of what's taking place on the world stage, on world events. There are those that want time to stand still, an era to remain. Why? Because they want to maintain control and power. Period. End of story. Which is a fool's errand. Neptune. It's illusion. It's not going to happen. We may, arc back a sec, tilt back to propel and catapult forward. However, it's also about these eclipses, from the August 2017 eclipse to the ones most recently, where the unseen said, we're drawing a line in the sand. And remember, these two sets of eclipses made an X across the United States. The mass of the land of the United States made an X across that. So we're drawing a line in the sand. You're being seen, you're being counted. What's at your center? Is what's at your center shadow, hubris, arrogance, entitlement, stubbornness, absolutism? Or is it advance and openness and opportunity and awe and wonder and rightness, righteousness? What's at your center? Because we are being seen and counted for a greater reason and purpose. And we can go back to forget your troubles, come on, get happy, read the lyrics. Everything has been pointing to the end of an old order, an old way, and the beginning of a new. So let's jump into, and let's just go to our mantra, because I absolutely love this. It's our fourth song, and our mantra is, I Dream in Color. And it's a song by Regina Bell, and the lyrics say, tired of living life in black and white, there's so much in between, like a rainbow in the sky, crying to be seen. When I open my eyes to find inspiration, I search for the best I can be. If I settle for less, I won't be the best I can be. When I dream in color. I want a love, not just a lover. I'll give you so many good reasons to capture a dream. So there's this beautiful thing that the unseen is saying to us. When I dream, it's number 5. When I dream in color. And again, they're imploring us. They're not asking us. They're not, just kind of saying, hey, here it is. If you'd like it, go ahead. What? No, they're saying, and it's number 5, about change. And think about, remember, color to technicolor. We're in color. They're offering, the unseen is saying, there's technicolor arriving, coming up on the other side of your experience, your known experience. And what the unseen is saying to us is, when I dream in color. It's not black and white. That's harking back to an era of, imagine them in consciousness, black and white to color to technicolor. Technicolor denotes this vibrancy. Everything's alive. Everything is, and of course it is. It always has been. But we started out in black and white. Dark ages, black and white. Color, current moment in time, color, moving to technicolor. And 5 and 6 go together, 6 denoting spirit and service, 5 denoting change. And they said, so when I dream of in color. And they said it's all about, quote, the present future. What's on the other side of the rainbow? It's in these songs. We talk about it. We daydream about it. We wonder about it. We've heard about it all of our lives. What's on the other side of the rainbow? We're getting ready to find out. The ideal becomes the new reality. All of this shifts us into a new octave, into a new order, into a new world. And thus, when I dream in color. Ava's saying, I dream in color. I love that. Yes, it's so exciting. So, and again, it's our mantra. I'm going to bring it up. I dream in color. And I love this image. It'll be posted in the show notes on Facebook, on the Dearjames page. So let's move to our main theme here, hexagram 18. And Olivia saying, I don't dream in color, but I would like to. And that's the beauty of it. Even if you don't. And this is like when people meditate and, the Buddhist monk Pembra Chodron. She said, I've been meditating. I've been doing this for 30 plus years, and I still don't think I'm doing it right. The point is, when you meditate, when you dream, when you're working with yourself, your soul source connection, you're doing the works. There is no quote unquote right way or one way or the best way. There's simply your way, meaning your soul's way. Each soul is a beautiful fractal. Each soul knows how to lead you, how to guide you, and how to harmonize and amplify and magnify. Follow your soul. Allow your soul to speak, to come through you, which means it's source coming through you, soul source connection. It's what we came in with, it's what we leave with, and it is what is ever present within you and within us, or it's everywhere. Okay, hexagram 18. It's decay, it's known as decay. Its action is to remedy. Its hidden influence is propriety, subordinate. So again, it's not subordinate yourself to others or to an old way or to a shadow. It's subordinate to propriety. What's good, what's proper, what's pure, what's clean, what's right. And its underlining cause is 17, following. Show by example. Lead by example. Just be. We don't have to have megaphones. You can just notice that people will say, that person is always so happy or so kind or is always so pleasant or is always, helpful and participative. That's showing by example. And it ripples out. It's the car in the drive-thru that pays for the person behind them. And it creates a beautiful chain reaction that keeps rippling. That alone, look what that does to somebody's day. Oh my gosh, the car in front of me paid for me? It's a gesture of to a stranger, of goodwill, of kindness, of joy. Repairing what's spoiled. Because again, there's so much division and hate. And really, no matter where you are in the globe, this just comes down to which side of the line are you on? Love or hate? It's really that simple. Love, hate. Love-based, hate-based. It's that simple. So, and we're repairing, decay, remedy, repairing what's spoiled. And one of our quotes comes off this first, and I'm going to bring it up, and it's the real voyage. Yes, Alicia saying, love, please. Exactly. The real voyage of discovery consists not in seeking new landscapes, but in having new eyes. And this is by Marcel Proust. And look, here's a beautiful tree that's been pruned into a heart. And here we're talking about, is it love-based or is it hate-based? What's at your center? What are you doing? And it's one of the two. And it's not about seeking new landscapes, but having new eyes. Relativity. Everything is in relation to something. And thereby, when I see it from a more pure place, do I see through it? I acknowledge it. I don't bury my head in the sand, but I can see through what it is. And then I can align my energies on a love-based foundation and move forward and operate that way. So this is from Carrie Hone at cafeosoul.com, hexagram 18. Decay. Success in business is often measured in an S-like curve. Initially, costs are no longer an issue. The line rises as profits grow. Later, competition flattens the line as market saturation offsets profits and the line recedes. If this business recognizes that innovation and responsiveness has to occur at every turn, perhaps the line would progress upward unimpeded. That is not usually the case. People wait until sales fall or something is broken before they take action. We do this in our personal lives too, and that is the message of decay. See, this message is all about, we're so reactive. Why are we not proactive? Why do we wait for things to break down? Communication, relationships, understanding, conversation. We wait for it to break down before we do anything. So it's in a state of decay. And we do this with our personal relationships and our personal lives as well. Mountain over wind suggests how the wind must change course as a remedy for forward advance because the mountain of ideas has blocked progress and decay grows unchecked in this situation. So when we do nothing, and it's systemic, and it's routine, and it's habitual, this decay festers, and it starts to block and obstruct, and more things start to break down because we're not being the custodians we're meant to be. We're not caring for ourselves and one another. We're not caring for the institutions, the cities, the relationships, the businesses, the communities. It's in disrepair, in decay. The hidden influence of subordinate suggests recognizing how you are interdependent on others. Life is one masterful, beautiful, the master weaver, one masterful tapestry that is interwoven to make this majestic whole. So we are interdependent upon one another. It's not one strand hanging out by itself and all of a sudden that makes a tapestry. No, it's one strand of. All relationships thrive on win-win solutions. A business explores demand prior to manufacturing the product. You may need to put your personal goals aside and make a sacrifice based on the needs of another. Where following as an underlining cause suggests how one thing follows another naturally, in this situation, the old way needs to be overhauled if you are to be successful. The old way. See, the old way, the old order passes away so that in its natural order, things become, because they get overhauled, we become successful. We usher in the new on the shoulders, on the foundation of where we've been. It's all purposeful. It's just not meant to be stuck there. Ego games and self-serving approaches to others will not work. Following old routines can lead to shoddy work and design. Whatever the situation, it is time to clear out the old and prepare for the new. Decay, has a lot to teach you, however. If you know that decay can set in, you can prepare in advance to avoid it. The necessary ingredients are the ability to offset deterioration by ensuring innovation and that constant change is sustained. It's about innovation, change, building on the foundation. learning from our mistakes, or from mistakes, our choices. This is what decay remedies. This is the purpose, the remedying of decay. Carrie Hone goes on to say, work on what has spoiled. Afterwards, there is order. See, it's not about going back or trying to maintain it or hold on to it. It's about repair, work on what's spoiled, repair it, remedy it. Afterwards, there is order. Pluto retrograde, Mercury opposite Pluto, running out in the advance. Come on, come on, come on. See, there's order, there's innovation, there's newness over here. And Pluto's saying, yes, but hang on. We got to repair what's spoiled. We got to work on what's spoiled. We got to drop it to its knees if that's what it takes. We're going to shake its roots and shake its foundation to its very core to get you to see, to get you to make a decision. Which side of the line are you on? Love? Hate? Which one? Routine can take on a life of its own, and over time, all things require renewal. So we get in a rut, we get in a routine, and we become complacent. We don't tend to our gardens, to our relationships, to our businesses, institutions. We take things for granted. You must work on what has been spoiled by decay to foster a rebirth, revival, to live again, bring back to use or notice. Bringing vitality to what is old and outworn, decay portrays how being placed in a yielding position to nourish others can sometimes turn the wind into the image of drifting. So it's complacency and so forth. The master said, "You are supple when alive and hard when dead." Even, so imagine, rooted, obstructionist, not budging. You're hard when dead. You're alive when supple. Even a business environment being comprised of individuals must be established on a foundation of individual growth to keep the enterprise healthy, alive, vibrant. Observing what has led the situation to become hard and dead, prune away what has stymied forward progress. So again, we have to be proactive. We have to be open to revision, renewal, pruning. We have to be open to observing and looking at the chaos. Acknowledge the chaos. Don't live in it. Don't remain in it. Don't perpetuate it. Sorry, because otherwise it stymies forward progress. Failing to recognize the necessary cycles of completion and renewal, a situation has been allowed to move steadily toward a state of stagnation. Here we are. We've allowed this state of stagnation. It is upon each of us, every one of us, to make this choice and then to pivot and continue making choices that reinvent the renewal, the possibility, the awe, the wonder. What's on the other side of the rainbow? What's on the other side of this moment in time? Because make no mistake, we've been there, done that. We've already been there. We've already done it. Now we must learn from it and advance. Perhaps you have defined your worth by solving the problems of others, and those that follow look to you as a problem solver. You may have lost your vision of the larger picture by tending to its many parts. So we can get in the weeds. We can have our face pressed up against the glass. We can be in the chaos. Regardless of the reason, the situation has lost its suppleness. It is associated with autumn when the height of creation ends and begins anew. In the image of seeds falling to the ground, harvest the seeds of the future by removing the outer husk or protective covering of the past. To work on what has spoiled, separate what is dead from what will bring new life. It's that separating the wheat from the chaff. It's recognizing that we're meant to let go of old energies, old experiences, old ways, because it cultivates new life. Contained within us is the whole. WHOLE, the whole. So it means it's already within us to advance. Crossing the great water to observe the situation with a fresh perspective, success is assured through systematic renewal. There is a need to overcome complacency so you can lift something to a higher and more functioning level. We're not meant to be complacent and stagnant and bogged down and stationary. And humans love their routines. They can't operate, and yet that's not life. That's complacency. That's being reactive. It's being opposed to change and innovation and advance and renewal. Stagnation only exists while you avoid the inevitable death of the old way. I'm going to say that one more time. Stagnation only exists while you avoid the inevitable death of the old way. To tap the future potential of something, you must come to terms with what must pass. This is our other quote, and it's a beautiful image with a key. To tap the future potential of something, you must come to terms with what must pass. So we must individually and collectively recognize, come to terms with what must pass. And this beautiful image of, kind of a beautiful gold ornate key. And again, the image invokes, once I unlock this door, what's on the other side of it? Who might I be on the other side of this? And to do so, I got to tap the future potential of something while simultaneously recognizing and coming to terms with what must pass. And again, this can be a relationship, a person, a place, a thing, a way of life, an era, a time. They're all relevant. I want to bring back up the astrological chart and just point out some. So this is the upcoming Cancer new moon, this very auspicious new moon. There's a trifecta of blessings in advance. The challenge is the release of the past. This is that Mercury opposing Pluto. The challenge is the release of the past. And some of the Sabian symbols that go with this chart. So one of the first ones is the ascendant for this chart. And it says a barometer. The ability to discover basic natural facts that allow us to plan in advance for action. Here we are no longer dealing with ascent or descent, but with natural laws which involve causal relationships and the passage of one natural condition into another. Patriarchal to matriarchal, Piscean to Aquarian. These are causal relationships, and it's the passage of one natural condition into another. The barometer registers air pressure, and a change of pressure today gives some indication of what the weather will be tomorrow. In a sense, this is the modern scientific equivalent of archaic prognostication through omens. So intuiting, sole source, intuiting. Likewise, animals grow a more or less thick fur in early autumn according to whether the winter will be more or less severe. So the thickness of their coat is already innate. It's already known to them because they're in harmony and unity with source, with the unseen. Planning for the near future is a possibility because the potential or seed of the future is already operating at the core of the present. We have everything we need. It's already within us. We're already aware of it. It's why there are those that are running towards it, openly welcoming it in. Love, because they're aware of the seed. And equally so, that seed is present and it's creating fear, hate, and fear. Because the awareness of that seed blossoming coming to life, becoming the new reality, they're aware of it. It's within them. The only thing you have to do is overcome that fear, that hate, that worry. Let it go. Remedy, conflict. Let go. Let it go. This symbol and this is the ascendant. This is the symbol, the Sabian symbol. Dane Redyear's and astrological mandala. This symbol tells us that it is most important to seek, by whatever means and whatever level of consciousness, a knowledge of causal progression. This is saying, come to terms with it. However you come to embrace the forward change, the advance, and it's causal change. It's natural, it's innate, it's organic. In the broadest sense, this implies an awareness of cyclic processes, and this includes astrology. The key word is anticipation. So there's an anticipation. It's why we get excited. What's on the other side? I'm just bringing the image up again on this quote. What's on the other side of this door with this golden key when I unlock it? Or when I walk with it, when I'm aligned with it? What's on the other side of what I'm releasing, of what I'm letting go of? And again, that can be person, place, thing, relationship, whatever it may be. The relationship or the identity, masks, identities, labels, the stories we tell ourselves. What's on the other side of that once I release it? There's a whole new you. There's a whole new way. There's a whole new world. The Sabian symbol for the sun and the moon. In a sumptuous dining hall, guests relax after partaking of a huge banquet. The need that exists at an early stage of human growth to materialize the concept of fulfillment. And this symbol ends this part of the quest for individuality and the process of decision-making on a note which indicates a phase of only temporary fulfillment. So in other words, our ego, mind, personality, our individual process, decision-making and stuff, it only gets us so far. It's temporary fulfillment. Because it knows little, soul source knows all. So when we allow that to let go, we go on. The darkness in the northeast may have been too much for the consciousness at this stage of the great cycle. The mind yearns to translate what it has seen in purely physical terms. This is perhaps the keynote of American life, the materialization of the spiritual. You can't materialize the spiritual. That means a separation. You've removed it. It's outside of you. However, when you live within the spiritual, it's moving through you. You can manifest, meaning manifest the physical of that. However, it's still an inside job. It will always be an inside job. It's not that something external, material, brings about the spiritual. It's the reverse. The creative force, the soul source connection, always moves through us, and it manifests in our thoughts, our words, our actions, our intentions, the purity of them, and the life, what we surround ourselves with, what we materialize. Mercury is out there. And this was so important because remember, it's pointing to, this trifecta of blessings in advance in the Cancer new moon with those three overlapping blue triangles. Here's Mercury. A conservative, old-fashioned lady is confronted by a hippie girl. The need to transcend our subservience to fashion in morals as well as in clothes. This refers to the ever-changing pageant of social values as ideals of human relationships succeed one another. Causal progression, how everything the ideal becomes the new reality. So the ideals of human relationships succeed one another. They change. Our social values change. They evolve. One generation facing in the next an antithetic picture of what it has been brought up to consider worthwhile and decent. The confrontation may lead to great bitterness, yet it should show us the impermanence of most of what society impresses upon our collective mentality. Again, this is about seeing through the illusion, seeing through or coming to terms with the impermanence of an era, of a time, of a moment, of a generation. We might all really love this one moment in time, but that doesn't mean that we are meant to stay there forever, fixed. Because there's so much more to us. There's so much more on offer. With this symbol, we are now dealing with cultural values and the emotional impact they have upon our character formation. Chaos, this change, the advance, the wanting to go back. It's all wreaking havoc. It's emotional. And yet, when we just calm ourselves and sit with it, we'll recognize, the impermanence of life, the impermanence of an institution, a structure, a moment in time. Whereas the first degree of Leo dealt with an individual crisis of reorientation, the sixth degree refers to a collective, cultural, and social crisis, which challenges us to realize the relativity of social values. We're up against this massive change from Piscean patriarchal to Aquarian matriarchal. And it's emotional, the emotional impact it's having on us. However, over and over and over again, it is to come and deal with the realization that everything, the impermanence of everything. We are physicalness, our ego, mind, personalities that are Dearjames and Sandy and Alicia and Olivia and Ava. We don't live forever. It's not permanent. It's impermanent. But our soul evolves, continues, changes, morphs. And we have the opportunity to do that within. It's the incarnation within the incarnation. We are not the young girl and the young boy any more than we are the youthful parents, than we are the grandparents in elderly age or, in advanced age. We're consistently evolving. So it's to come to terms, come to peace with the impermanence of life, of our existence, of each individual. Again, if it's a company, a government, institutions, build upon the past in a positive way, in a way that advances us, you, not that attempts to stop time or reversed. If I could turn back time, I wouldn't. We wouldn't. Because there's greatness ahead. And that's where we're going. These energies are so positive and powerful. We're really kicking off the month of July of 2024, this capstone moment year. And this is going to be a heavy hitter year and a heavy hitter month. So, that old saying, brace yourself, Ethel, because this is what we're looking at. So just a final recap, forget your troubles, come on, get happy. Look up Google, look up I'm going to post the lyrics, look at them. The unseen is saying, you want us to do this nice and easy. We're going to start out nice and easy. We're going to finish nice and rough. It's about belief and faith and confiding in and trusting and believing. It's about the source of pure water, and it's about a revival, to live again, to bring back to use or notice. Acknowledge the chaos, then move through it and beyond it. During this time, this second half of the year, Remain in the eye of the hurricane, in the storm. Remain in a state of peace. Be proactive in taking positive, love-based actions, steps, words, these types of things. And I'm just reminded of early on, the unseen had said to us, all planets are direct until April 1st. And then the first 4 months, wide open opportunity. The first 7 months, all systems go. So we're now in the 7th month. Latter half of 2024, so August on, mixed bag of nuts and surprises. And yet, go, go, go. There's nothing to worry about, nothing you can't do or accomplish. Persevere and prevail. Rise up. And rise up in a positive manner, love-based manner. If I could turn back time, the unseen, if I could turn back time, I wouldn't, we wouldn't. When I dream in color. And it's all about this present future moment. What's on the other side of the rainbow? Until next week, thank you for your love, your presence, your participation. Thank you so much for being on this journey with us, because you make all the difference and you are a massive ripple in this energetic pond that will advance and move everyone forward. We need only choose it. So until next week, be well, be kind, and have a beautiful Independence Day, no matter where you are around the globe.